Hello and welcome to another episode of Out of Stand Nation. Man, like 2020 has not been letting up on these releases with us.
Right?
We don't have much time left, but man, they have been. I feel like they're still wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Like this week was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, we still got what, another week of. Okay, so one, happy holidays. This is considering that when this episode is going to be released. But we still got another week of releases before the end of the year, and
yeah. Oh man, I already know too. Like I've already got my song of the week picked out for next week, and it hasn't even released yet.
Same.
Right.
I'm not gonna say who. You're just gonna have to find out on the next episode.
Wait, well,
oh my,
is it going to release? No, we'll figure it out later.
It'll be all right. I got this figured out, man. I got you figured out. So, speaking of figuring things out, man, we need to figure out what's going on with this first topic. Nick,
man,
take it away.
So, our first topic, we're gonna start off with an absolute banger. Our first topic is Seori, with the song Trigger. We have talked about Seori in the past, and me and Jihoon absolutely adore everything she works on. Man,
look at how I'm excluded in this. You
don't like K-pop.
Yeah.
So a big thing here is the lore of this song. There is a lot.
There's so much
to
going
just
on.
Unravel.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that actually when I saw that Seori had a song come up. I wasn't expecting like all this lore behind it, but I'm really happy that it's actually here, because it gives a lot of like contextual stuff to the MV as well.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the song goes, I mean it's Seori, so it's gonna be R&B, hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this was actually a little more trappy in the bait than I expected. It would
really
be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was actually a decently trappy beat, but it wasn't bad. I think her voice like didn't clash a lot with the trappiness of the actual song.
Mm-hmm.
That and they played around with textures in the song, and you know me, like that's like one of my go-to things with songs is textures. Especially with the way they play around with the stringed instruments, the bass, that omnipresent sub bass.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the way they play around with the levels of it. Her vocal timbre, her delivery, just the way it kind of just plays off of everything, the atmosphere of the song. Man, like that. In this instance, like yes, I'm not the biggest proponent of trap, but trap was just the way to go with the song.
Yeah, 100%. I also really liked the chorus and that melody inside of the chorus. It's actually really hard for me to tell what instrument they're using because I don't think it's a guitar.
No, I don't think so either. Like, it's I don't know.
It's something fretted, because
yeah,
you could hear when it changes over to a different fret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I don't know, like you could tell me it's like a lute or a mandolin or something.
It could be something in that area. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely some fretted instrument. And man, I loved that aspect. I feel like it gave a unique texture to it.
Yeah.
And also kind of switched it up because it wasn't something I was expecting.
Mm-hmm. Switch it up. It wasn't something you were expecting, and also it kind of give it like that kind of this strange oddity, like feeling of like you're this otherworldly kind of feeling.
Right.
You're seeing with the visuals as well.
Also, this is gonna be great, but Aura.
Yeah.
The CG editing in this was amazing.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Very seamless. It was very seamless. I think that the way they integrated it all.
Mm-hmm. It was so well done, and how well that they incorporated it throughout the MV, where it didn't overtake her, was so beautiful. It just helped emphasize her as an artist, and I think that's what was so well done.
I think one of the biggest missteps in the use of CG for me, that at least for my taste, I think it's different for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think of it as like, depending on the the theme that you're going for, the image that you're going for, the feel that you're going for. In this sense, right, for this music video, I think that the way they incorporated CG, just like how you do with makeup, right? Certain makeup styles is either meant to make it look like you're not wearing anything at all, any makeup at all, that's just accentuating your natural features, as opposed to like the more loud, styles of makeup where it's like really bright eyeliner and really deep texturing, make it very apparent that you are wearing makeup. Here it's kind of going in that direction of like the CG is there, but it's kind of like making it look like that it's not really there. It's accentuating
very much so
the scene, rather than making it like, oh, here's this big fancy CG robot. Like,
yeah,
a lot of times they get really overdone in that aspect and comes off as cheesy.
Yeah, like the way that they used the CG here was definitely used to complement like the music video. Because there's a lot of things that you cannot do without CG, and I think that with how they incorporated it was so well done. Because obviously you can't get like growing plants, you can't get like lightning on command and whatnot.
Well, you could. It's just that to do it with practical effects would be really, really expensive and time consuming. Because we've seen that with like the movie The Thing from like, what was it, like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, whatever. So I saw the behind the scenes. I didn't watch the movie itself, but I saw the behind the scenes where they used actual practical effects for the actors to interact with, but then they replaced it with CG in the movie. The actual practical effects version of the monsters were absolutely horrifying. But the CG monsters were cheesy. It just looked like a cheap video game. Like, if they just went with the practical effects, it would have been a much more horrifying movie, but would have been a lot more time consuming to film. So, yeah, that's one of the biggest pitfalls. CG can come close, but often doesn't do as well as like a practical effects. But practical effects are so time consuming and expensive. But here, those vines that we saw, like you saw kind of wrapping around her and kind of growing and coiling, like that you were referring to earlier. Like that right there was exactly what I was talking about earlier, when it's like, yes, it is CG. It's CG, but it's not really apparent. Like it blends into the scene so well. It complements everything. Yes. And
then there's like throughout the music video, you see what's usually considered like intense scenery, but it's almost as if the song was so calming at the same time that it works so well. Like usually you'd think lightning, fire, like all of that would be like hype, would hype something up, but they used it in a way to fit the song so well, because the song is almost calming. It is
entrancing. Yes. And I think the one scene that really kind of sells what you're talking about is later on in the song where it goes into that fretted instrument again, right?
Exactly.
The song itself kind of steps off to the side, like still retains the beat, but then that fretted instrument comes in, and she's walking towards the camera. She's walking towards the camera, and the whole scene just feels very entrancing. Like you're in a trance. You're just kind of like in awe of this powerful being that's walking towards you.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
One of the scenes in here is my favorite, but I also have a gripe with it, and that is at the beginning when they were using that that smoke. I do not like the fact that it was a white background with white smoke. I thought that it was hard to see.
Yeah.
But one thing I liked that they did is they caught a shot of her breathing in the smoke through her nose.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool visual effect, because that scene of like breathing in through the smoke is something that is like it would be really hard to actually edit that. So you have to pay really close attention that you're capturing that, have a really good focus on the actual smoke at that point.
And something that would kind of compound that kind of complaint you're talking about, because it would be for people who don't like, which is the majority of people out there who don't calibrate their monitors, their screens, or TVs for color accuracy. Because with those, if in that kind of circumstance, then it will just be that much more washed out or blended in. So yeah.
Yeah,
I can see
and
with that.
even so, like the thing is, right, is I my primary monitor is a TN panel, which if you don't know what that means that my color correction is really, really bad. It's just innately bad because IPS is like what everyone uses for colors. That's like the best color panel out there. My primary monitor is used for gaming, so it's a TN panel because TN panels are faster. You can get a higher frame rate out of them. So, but that being said, I sacrifice a lot of colors. Now, to me, colors don't matter.
Because you're colorblind.
Because I'm colorblind.
It's kind of a moot point for you.
Yeah. And so like buying a panel that has more color for me is just not worth it.
Right.
That being said, on my TN panel, I can still tell shade differences. Usually colorblind people can easily tell shade differences better because we can't tell colors apart. So we have to use shades to tell us what colors are.
Contrast.
Yeah. So like for my eyes, contrast is really good. And on my TN panel, I could not tell the difference between the smoke and the background. Like it was literally all just one kind of blob. On my obviously on my nicer like side monitors that are IPS, I could tell them different, but even that, it was still kind of a challenge.
Yeah, and for me, because I'm pretty obsessive when it comes to replicating, like my home audio system and like home theater system is meant for like fully replicating, the whole experience. So, it's 98% accurate representation of the color profile for Adobe RGB. So I can see, like I have a pretty good representation of the scene, but for most people, I think most people would be running into that same problem. Like it just looks like one big blob.
I guess I'll be the in between because I just got a really basic stuff, and it is very much washed out. But knowing what to look for, it really does help. If you don't know what to look for, it makes it really harder to see that smoke, to see that movement, and then can be very much washed out. Man,
we really got deep into that.
One, it's an amazing song. It's with amazing visuals. It's hard to not talk about it and appreciate this music video.
Yeah, I mean, it's just those fine details, And again, I think it says a lot too when even someone like me is kind of going more in depth into the music video itself as well. So, because I usually tend to get very lost into the song itself. So either because I really like it or I don't like it, I'm not gonna pay attention to the video.
You really get lost in both. You get lost in both. It is the director, the cameraman, the makeup artist, even the backup dancers and all the side people who help kind of bring Seori up, and they help support it, but also help it's not addition, it's like a multiplication, kind of elevation.
Yeah, they compound on each other.
Exactly. And it just adds so much more, and it's just a really great MV.
And even for someone like me, I generally don't like this kind of fantasy style of setting. It's just not my thing. But I really appreciated it. I really liked the way they executed it. I really enjoyed every bit of what they did with it. So even for someone like me who doesn't like this type of style, the fact that I can appreciate it, I think it's that much more powerful, I would say. And it's set as of right now, as of this recording, it's up to 176,000 views, which I know for a lot of people are it's not in the millions. But for a solo artist, I think for the most part she's self-produced, right?
I think so.
Maybe.
I mean, she is signed with the label, but it's not.
I think she does a lot of the production herself. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a fair amount to get, especially with no advertising or anything like that. So, I highly recommend it. So,
shall we get moving on?
Yes, because we could talk forever. we could definitely talk forever about her. So,
Mhm.
up next we got donggyoung with "Walking on the Moon." Donggyoung, I've never heard of her before.
Neither have I.
I haven't either.
So I only saw this because I was going through Stone Music Entertainment channel for releases for the week, and just gave this a listen to, and I was not disappointed. I was.
Wait, I was
mean,
the
you
one
guys
who
know.
posted this, though.
You sure? Because I posted it too.
Oh, did you?
Oh no. I did open it up. You know, from Stone Music Entertainment. I didn't post it because you had already posted it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You did post it.
Okay, I'm like, wait a second. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, you did post it. But I was going through it on my own. So, didn't disappoint. Just like you guys know me. This is my kind of song.
It's so calming.
Very calming. I love her vocals.
Mhm.
Just kind of, very calming, peaceful, kind of tranquil feel.
Mhm.
Soothing.
Definitely.
Very soothing.
Yeah,
So, Nick, I know you also enjoyed this a lot, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys have been watching channel for a while, this genre is usually something I'm rather burnt out on. This kind of melodramatic, kind of just feel good genre is not usually something I like a lot.
Okay.
However, one thing I do really like about this song is her vocal quality and how much it changes the feel of the song
Mhm.
from that kind of melodramatic feel. It doesn't really like over imply that, you know.
Yeah, because I mean,
other
a song like
singers
this,
will.
you definitely could take it into like a melodramatic feel, but here, because of her vocals, keeps it more into like the feel good, soothing
Mhm.
range rather than Yep, I see what you're talking about. So,
So I definitely really like that here. Also, I really like the musical accompaniment here.
Mhm.
I think that they chose a great musical accompaniment, and there's a little bit of actually funk influence in the song as well. But I really enjoyed the song.
especially now that you're more open to kind of more jazzy elements. So,
Yeah, I think that helps a lot as well for this song. I think by far the electric guitar is probably my favorite part of this song.
mhm.
I think the electric guitar carried this song in accompaniment wise.
Mhm.
And I think also the mixing is amazing.
And I think the piano did really good with supporting. Like the piano is not as prominent as like the electric guitar, but I think the piano gives a really good framing for the song as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree.
And yeah, you're right. That the mixing, very well mixed.
I mean, yeah, they have a lot of instruments working here,
Mhm.
but it doesn't feel like a lot, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like anything is like overwhelming in any particular element.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and the nice thing is that, well, something that's very apparent is that everything is live. They're all real instruments. It's not synthesized instruments.
Oh.
Which again, you're for me, I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah, the drum, the bass, the guitar, the piano, it's all live here.
Oh.
Like I love being able to pick out the texture of like a string instrument being plucked on or hammers falling on the strings in the piano.
Mhm.
Yeah, hearing the acoustic reverb.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I think is a great like thing to be able to pick out from a song, especially when you have a really good quality setup. It's on lower quality setups. It's really hard to pick that out.
Yeah.
Just kind of because of how the sounds blend and whatever.
Mhm.
But when you have like audiophile level quality, you can really pick out those songs, and it's a really nice touch because it feels closer. It feels
Touch feels much more live and organic and just real to you.
yeah. It's a lot more organic in general.
Yeah.
And it
'Cause,
very
like I
much
said
helps
before-
with the closed soundstage of this too.
Yeah. And like, just going back to like what I said before, for me, it's all about that kind of my whole setup is all about replicating, the experience of what the director or artist intended.
Mhm.
What I want to hear, what they intended me to hear.
So basically, what Jihoon is saying is that we all go over to his house and listen to all these music videos. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a very accurate setup.
I'm already on my way.
Yep. Booking some plane tickets now.
Yep.
And I got food too. My kimchi's gonna be ready in a couple of days.
What I also like is the kind of very, very slight muted film over the video.
Yep. Yep. Give it a soft touch.
Yeah, because like it's not like the colors are very vibrant and exploding. Everything looks more pastel because of the muted filter that they applied.
Yeah, it is very pastel and all that.
So by applying a soft filter over the scene, you either provide a dreamlike feel, like if someone's having a dream, or getting lost in their own fantasy world, or you can also provide a bit of a nostalgia or a longing kind of feel as well. If you want more nostalgia, you can add like a sepia tone in addition to the softness, or you can exclude it, because you're trying to maybe give it more of a I'm nostalgic for a happy time that we had. So
it also because because she's walking around like kind of an empty house and whatever, it just feels very homey as well,
Yep. And going with what Aura said earlier, a relatively closer soundstage, giving it a much more intimate feel.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I feel like I might have missed it, but I'm kind of like rewatching it as well. But I think everything is in a single camera. Everything, there's no cuts. It's just a whole.
Yeah, it's a one
single.
take.
Yeah, it's a single one take. And you don't
Yeah,
see
you
that
did mention
very
it earlier
often.
before we started recording. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the one take aspect. There was another MV this week that was also a one take.
It was the one with the live piano in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was also
which
one
will
take.
be posted later on down. So
Yeah, link will be in the description. But like definitely like the rise of one takes. Like I'm here for it. I really like the frameless aspect of one takes.
Yeah,
it creates such a more dynamic and personal feel.
Yes.
Almost as if you're right there,
And it also can potentially cut back on the cost of production as well, which, me, like I've said this like a lot of times before, a lot of, especially like the big three labels, spend too much money on music videos, like when you don't really need to, especially when it doesn't necessarily add anything more or could even detract from the overall quality. So I'm with you guys.
I mean, I do also very much understand the difficulties with the one takes. Like, if like something with lighting, weather, something goes wrong, you got to redo this entire thing.
Yep, and you're often just waiting to if the forecast said there's gonna be a cloud cover, like you're sticking out waiting until the cloud cover's gone.
Exactly.
So your whole production's on hold.
And especially if you really want an aesthetically appealing shot, depending on the song, you can also wait till golden hour. But then you have a very, very limited time frame to work with.
You have to get everything set up and organized around that schedule. Yep.
So, it's just like the Dusk or Dawn MVs that we've seen before. Like you only have Dawn for so many like minutes of Dawn, and so you miss that time and you gotta wait till tomorrow.
I mean, and that's why a lot of labels will cheat too and just use shoot it within a studio.
Yeah. One thing I also am gonna have to investigate is she has a SoundCloud.
She does.
Oh, does she?
So I'm gonna have to investigate that as well.
Yep.
Because I really, really enjoy her voice and vocal timbre.
Yep. So, all right, you guys ready? Moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
Aura, take it away.
All right. So for our next artist, one we've talked about her so many times, and
many times.
She's very near and dear to our heart. It is Taeyeon with "What Do I Call You," and I believe Nick said that it received an all kill, or was it topping charts? I don't remember.
It topped charts in 18 different regions around the world. iTunes charts.
Okay.
So. Which is insane because of the ska influence here.
Yep.
Usually you don't see ska doing that.
Yeah, and ska would usually be pretty seasonal too, right? Like you'd see that, you'd more expect to see that in like late spring going into summer.
Yep. But I also really like the R&B fusion that they did here with ska, because
Yep.
I think that flowed very effortlessly because they share enough ties
Yep.
that all they had to do was keep the bass instrumentation, and then they could add a butt on top of that and make it R&B.
Which works very well with her vocal style too.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, like I was honestly very, very blown away by the song.
Oh yeah.
One thing I also liked here is that Taeyeon used a lot of her lower vocal register, because she knows that register is more airy for her.
Yep.
Which matches very well with like the kind of R&B style. Because like when she's up in her upper register, she's very much a power vocal.
Yep.
But that doesn't work for R&B. R&B doesn't really want those hyper power vocals like that. So she used a lot of her lower register, and I really like that as well. I think that makes the song flow even better.
Yep. Another thing that really blew me away with the song, I don't think I've ever heard a Taeyeon song that had this much bass.
Yeah.
Like that really omnipresent sub bass, like throughout the whole song.
Yeah. Your
My
subwoofer
was going crazy.
Yeah. Subwoofer was going off.
Yeah. Like I'm used to hearing my subwoofer going off, but I'm not used to hearing my subwoofer like stay on for an entire song like this, you know, for a Taeyeon song. So
Yeah.
that was really, so for me it was that much more of a kind of immersive experience for me as well, you know, that kind of 3D aspect. So
Right.
Aura, what do you think?
One, it's Taeyeon. It's great, but something else is like, I feel like this is a very different style than what she usually does, and
Yeah.
It is.
and it's so interesting, and seeing how she incorporates her own style with a new style of like genre.
Yeah, I kind of get a little bit of a feel of like Hot Felt.
Yeah.
You know, not
yeah.
as quirky, but kind of a bit more of that kind of laid back party image that Hot
I
Felt
can definitely
does.
see that, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
something more mature, you know. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely like, especially from the imagery, there's like a little bit of a more mature, but not like overly mature, but like
Yeah.
mature
And you know what?
relationships kind of thing.
It kind of actually does have some of that quirkiness because I'm back up to the scene now where you got the people in their masks or like
Right.
yeah, and some of the graphics that you see on the screen and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know what? There is some of that kind of quirkiness there as well.
Right.
So
And
yeah, and you know, I'm not complaining.
right.
I like it.
And I also really like how they don't overuse the mask where it overtakes.
Yep.
Like that was something I had with Lionheart with the big lion mask.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
the SNSD. That
No, it was
very
whole lion costume, wasn't it?
Huh?
I think it was a whole lion costume, wasn't it?
No.
Like a whole full body costume.
Was it a whole?
I can't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, but I very much felt like that took away from the MV. I like these.
It made it
smaller-
feel cheesy.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. But with these smaller masks, it doesn't take away from like how the characters are kind of portrayed, and
Yeah.
really helps emphasize Taeyeon throughout the entire music video. I think that was
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
well done.
They did give him just a little bit of screen time, but not like too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like where they're all present throughout the whole music video.
Yeah,
So,
I also think the mask plays really well into like the whole forgetting the memories thing.
Yeah.
Because you forget, eventually you don't see somebody for a long enough time, you forget what they look like.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So
obscuring their
I think,
face. Yep.
Yep,
Yes.
I think that definitely worked well. Especially when she was drawing his face, but it turned out to be that panda mask.
Yep.
It just shows that she can't remember.
And going with the feel of the song too. Like the song does kind of have a little bit of that kind of wistful kind of feeling. You know, especially with that kind of with this down tempo-ness of ska. It does come together very well. It is a very well produced song and music video.
Yeah.
I mean, Taeyeon though, like would you expect any less?
Right. And what's so interesting is rather than like how we were talking about with like
Seori?
donggyoung being so
Oh
close.
yeah, donggyoung. Yeah.
This feels like there is a distance kind of thing. The song and the music video itself, it very much feels like there's a distance. But
They do incorporate some acoustic effects for kind of like a echoey trailing type of thing. Like
right,
gives a perception of distance.
They open up the soundstage a little bit more than donggyoung did.
Yeah. And that's the whole like dissonance and difference between the two artists that we just talked about. It's so interesting to see how well like these vocalists, their vocals are, but how well like
It's all put together.
How well it's put
and
together.
arranged.
Exactly. And then how like having an open and closed soundstage can change how you perceive like their music videos. So
Yeah, the whole experience for you. Yeah, it can really change the experience. Well, and you know, that's something that I really appreciate about like the three of us. We're able to like kind of pick on these minute nuances. You know, having you guys to talk with about this kind of stuff. So, oh man, I know that's another one that we could definitely spend a lot more time talking about. But I think this next one is another good one for us to start getting rolling into.
All right.
So, Keumyong and featuring Chae Jihye, Today Somehow. This song I really enjoyed. So initially, I want to say for like maybe like the first minute or two, yeah, I liked it, but I wasn't blown away.
Yeah, I felt the same.
Right, and I think is just the way it picked up, right?
I think
I
think part of it was the way it picked up, but also the way it started. I mean, it started with that acoustic guitar
that
we've heard 1,000 times.
Yep.
With a second one doubling it, playing a counter melody. We've heard that before.
It makes very familiar feeling. Like I've heard it before. Yep.
Yep. And then he starts singing right after it. It's just, and he starts in this very airy low tone. Like we've heard it before.
Yep,
we've heard it before.
There's nothing that was original about it to start.
Yep.
Which usually you find with ballads, because ballads are more focused on the singer's ability rather than the ability of the song to match him.
Yeah, like the composition of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we eventually enter with that electric guitar that has a filter applied to it, and that wasn't overly original. You know, it is a little weird to have 3 guitars playing, but it's not a bad weird. It's just a little different. But I like that because it, like, I didn't expect another guitar, you know?
Yeah.
But it added a really nice layer. And then we take out the guitars, go into the piano. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. That this is where that kind of turning point, because that was right after the 2-minute mark.
Same. Yeah. Well, about a minute 40. And then, because so the acoustic guitar still stays in.
Yeah, it does.
But it kind of moves to the back a little bit. And it kind of starts going into like or not right away. It's a very, very slow build up.
Yeah.
Where you eventually end up in kind of like a progressive rock, kind of feel.
Yeah.
A very soft, rocky type of feel. And, you know, it's, the overall atmospheric, like, you know, I guess the kind of atmosphere that they built with the piano and the guitar, his vocals. For me, that was very immersive. You know, it's a slow build up, but I think it was right around the time where that snare drum came in. Was it when it really got a solid hold of me?
That snare drum, but also Chae Jihye doubling his voice.
Yes.
Because normally when it says featuring somebody, I expect like a whole verse,
like a small like a one verse for them.
Yeah, but they introed her by doubling his voice and then took her back out when he continued taking, and I was like, whoa, that's so weird. And then they picked it right up into that into that pick up where she's ad-libbing over him.
Yep. Yeah, because so like when you start off with everything we had just talked about, with the guitars, the piano, the snare drum, and then bringing her in with her vocals doubling on his, like for me it was like a very enchanting atmosphere. And then when her vocals came in, like it was like, all right, here's now the magic just happened. Like it was such an amazing experience for me. Like just from start to finish. It's like just like how you're saying, like it starts off as like, okay, we've heard all this before, but then slowly it's like reeling you in. It's like, wow, I'm getting more invested into the song. He's
also really, really good at applying emotion, in his higher register.
Mm-hmm.
But also when the song's like kind of at that climax, and they just take everything away. They just stop all the music.
Yep.
And then it's just their voices.
Yep.
Man, I've talked about before how much I love pauses in music.
Yes. And then that right here in this song, perfect execution.
That is the exact way you use a pause.
Yep.
And then they gave it a breath, and then brought it right back into that, like, and then they ramped it up more.
Yep.
I really did like the key change as well here. I think that was a really good, like, use of building more momentum on top of the already built momentum.
Yep. Yeah.
But also, his high register, man.
And that happened right in the middle of because like so towards the last 2 minutes or so of the song, like it's just like this very progressive, like kind of crescendo going.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's where it happened in the middle of that, right? For the key change.
Yeah, it was in it was at around like the 5-minute mark of this song.
Yeah, so it was like right in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, like this song is just I had this song on repeat.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, his vocal range is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to cross that range like that.
It crossed the range comfortably, like without like he was very effortless with how he did it.
Yeah. It does sound like which is not a bad thing, but it sounds like at the top, like at those high notes, it does sound like he's straining a bit.
Yep. For like emphasis.
Yeah. I think it's a more comfortable strain.
Yeah.
I don't think he's uncomfortably straining on that specific part, but I think he's forcing a strain on his voice because it implies emotion.
We see Japanese artists do that a lot. Japanese artists will do that a lot. Both male and female vocalists. So, yeah. And like when the song ended, I was at the end when the song ended, I was like, wow, did that just happen? I actually had to go back, play it again, just to make sure like everything that we just talked about actually happened, like that I wasn't just like imagining things for some reason that that my mind just made up its own amazing song in my head to experience. So.
It's just like what we've talked about before with ballads. Ballads are very cookie cutter in a way.
Yep.
Like
it's all in the delivery.
It's all in delivery, but it's also like you can change things about it. It's just you have to actually like do that.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of ballads don't. They go very cookie cutter. But this is a perfect way to change a ballad, but still make it a ballad.
Yep.
It starts off as a very soft ballad and turns into a more power balladish.
Yep, power balladish with like it's like soft rock with progressive rock kind of undertones.
Yeah. And that is a perfect way to transition a ballad like that. The song was longer in because of it, but
it was 6 minutes and 33 seconds. I'm just like, wow, that's a long song. It didn't feel like it.
No, it felt like it was like average song length, and I think a lot of that is because of the initial build up.
Yep. Everything that we said about how how it started off and sounding kind of generic, I wouldn't change that.
No, I think that
fine
was good.
as it is because
I think it set a good precedent for the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy that part of the song as well.
Yeah. Outside of what you guys have already said, I really don't have much to say to this music video because.
Yeah, sorry. I know. I got really into it.
There's not much for me to say because it is like you guys have said, it's a very stereotypical like ballad, and unfortunately, when it comes to music videos, there's a very much cookie cutter music video too for ballads, and hence there is such a kind of a wandering kind of effect that goes on
through
which is
the
literally
city
what
at
he was
night.
doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then yeah,
Which I like. I like this style of music video.
yeah,
A lot.
I think ballads are really hard to put an MV to.
Right.
Without being overly generic, because I mean, like this, for example, I would say this is a very cookie cutter MV, because like I mean, when it picked up, he started running. Before that, he was wandering.
In fact, you know what it just reminded me of when you go to like the karaoke rooms. This is always the type of like video that's being played for the song to sing to, right?
Yep. Very. I'm not saying it's a bad kind of like style for videos, but it is very cookie cutter and very stereotypical.
And for me, you know, I'm not complaining. You know, you guys know I love this style. This it's for me the biggest experience is the song itself. So just having this kind of background for the video while I'm getting lost in the song is perfect for me. Yeah.
So I know Jihoon's all for this, but
Bruh.
we think it's about time to move on.
Yeah,
It absolutely is, because this next one is absolutely amazing. So I seem to remember certain people not believing me when I said that a certain recommendation popped into my feed that was going to blow our entire lineup on the water for last week.
Guys, I gotta go.
No. So let's preface this. He said, because he never told us who the artist was.
Nope.
And so we're like, whatever, because he didn't mention who it was. Okay.
Nope.
And there's only a few artists that would actually blow our lineup out of the water after we've decided on it.
But come on now, like you
This
guys
is one
know
of
me.
those
I don't
artists.
overhype. I never overhype unless like I'm like fully sold on something, right? Like,
True.
I was all down. Like, bro, you guys not gonna believe this. But let's not keep you guys waiting, because who are we talking about, Nick?
We're talking about Yezi with her song "Raining All Night." Man, so like Jihoon said, like this is one of the artists that could blow our lineup out of the water. There's only a few of those, to be honest.
We all agreed on it, and not only that, but this is a music video from last week. We usually don't choose if it's past. We usually just don't come back to it,
or maybe at best quick shot it.
Yeah, we've done it
once.
Well, we tried with Bodomu. It never.
Oh
worked.
yeah.
We ended up quick shotting it
2 weeks
so
later.
I think we've literally done it once in the well, at least in the year I've been here.
I think once for the entire existence
Almost
of this
2
channel.
years. Yeah. So, yeah. That's insane. So if that doesn't tell you how good the song is, I don't know what will. This is Yezi with the song "Raining All Night." It has 121,000 views, which is really good.
For
still need more.
Oh, man,
always
absolutely,
needs
absolutely.
So, if you don't know anything about Yezi is an R&B hip hop artist, who is amazing, and she didn't differentiate from that style here. She's actually a little more trappy in this style than she usually is. Which I was actually surprised that you liked that.
Trappy, but she also balanced it out with funk.
Right.
So
Which, it balances the two of you out.
there's something in here for everybody, for all three of us.
And I'm just a hit or miss. I'm a hit or miss with any song you guys post.
Well, you're hit or miss with everything.
Yeah.
So one thing I really liked here was the panning, plucking guitar.
Yeah. Palm muted plucking.
Yeah. I also really liked how it panned between headphones. Between left and right.
Yep.
Right.
Man, I thought that added a good style. We've talked about like panning before, and it's become rather popular lately. Panning from side to side.
And
unfortunately for Aura, who gets seasick.
Yeah. And,
She did it so well that I didn't get seasick from this.
Yeah, I think because it's much more rapid between left and right, so it doesn't kind of give you like this kind of swinging feeling.
Yeah, not like that one MV that we talked about did.
Yeah, because it was a much more slower, more deliberate panning.
It
kind of give you,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, another thing with that, with that plucking, I really enjoyed the texture that it provided to the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I do like some like really smooth going songs, but this one, it really did kind of broke that up, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I think it just would not be the same without it.
And then
Just
when
that
they
one
brought
little
in that
thing.
electronic influence, that
Yep.
electronic synth,
Mhm.
man, I was sold. Like,
Yeah, it was at that point that it went borderline future funk.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So,
I was like full on sold by that, like that almost vocalized synth.
mhm.
Man, I love
Yep.
that.
Yeah, so like I guess the way that they sandwiched the trappiness of it with funk and then bordering into future funk at times too, it didn't get overly trappy with me. It didn't get crashy at all.
Hmm.
Because future funk is very smooth with its stylistic deliveries. Trappy is much more crashy. It was all balanced out.
Right.
And her vocals, come on, guys.
It was great.
I mean, man, I love that almost like whispery tone that she has.
Mhm.
It was very, like, I know you just said it before too with Chae Jihye.
Hmm.
Like, it was kind of entrancing,
It is.
but it really is, but in a different kind of way.
Mhm.
She's lulling you into like this kind of mood, just chill.
Right. Like,
And
yeah.
absolutely, it got us to chill. After we got excited because it's Yezi.
look. Okay, so if only we recorded our reaction, like,
Oh my god!
Like-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
all three of us were like, "Wait, what? Hold on."
Whoa! Like that just happened. Yeah.
Bobbing our heads, just like, yeah, kind of
Yeah,
energy.
man, like, because this song, like we talked about it, like Jihoon was hyping it as a song that would break our lineup, and like we talked, there's not very many songs that could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But man, and so it's no wonder that it's here this week.
Yeah.
I also love that like little piano breakdown in the song.
I was about to bring it up. Ah, you beat me to it.
Yeah, I really love that piano breakdown where it's just like that piano just off beat.
Yep.
That's just really syncopated from like even her rap. Man,
Right.
I really loved that as well. It gave that kind of like just kind of vibe kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh.
Now, this is one of the MVs that doesn't feature the artist itself, like physically in the music video. It is a very scenic music video. And
Yeah.
I think it works so well because, and then seeing like the lyrics kind of not just pop up, it's kind of like almost like falling into as if it was rain, It was so well done and incorporated into the scenery that
Yeah, one thing I also really liked was when it went into that breakdown with the vocalized synth.
Oh, you
How
taking my talking point again.
How chaotic the MV became.
Right.
So did you notice that it went to the music? It was like a one of those
Yeah.
visualizers for a music player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it kept with that for after that breakdown.
Right.
So,
Yeah, because even when they paused the music, paused everything in the song, the screen just went black.
Right.
Like it was very synced to the song, and I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
and even throughout the rest of it, like as the song was closing, they still had like these kind of small like glitchy effects and whatnot that were also still going in line with the song itself.
Right.
So they're still kind of retaining that feel that they set a precedent for during the breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
This was honestly a really well done music video, and
oh yeah, I really enjoyed it for something as simple. It's like relatively simple.
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. All right, we think it's about time to move on. Are you
Yeah.
ready?
I mean,
are we ever ready for Like, honestly, if we could talk about each of these music videos, we'd probably be able to talk about them all day.
I mean, we did spend a long time talking about Yezi like that weekend. Like after we got
true.
done recording, we really did. So, yeah. So the next one is an artist that I'm not very familiar with actually. I may have heard of him in passing. CR Kim. With
Yeah, I think we had one of his songs earlier in the year on our lineup. I think back in April.
Okay.
But we didn't. It got cut.
Okay.
For other songs.
Oops.
But so this is the first time we're actually talking about CR Kim. Interestingly enough, this was actually produced by someone in the U.S. as well.
Really?
Which you can definitely, it's very apparent, especially from the vocal delivery here. You know, especially with the way it opened up. Which normally doesn't fall well with us. Doesn't sit well with us.
Usually an American production does not fall well with us. However, I think this person did a great job of channeling what actually is K-pop, or what actually is K-hip hop, because
while still taking like some of like the best tenets of American soul R&B.
Yeah, because like a perfect part of this is that like American R&B, the chorus is usually very repetitive. But it's not overly so to the point where that's the entire song. Okay. And I think they utilize that very well here. As well as having an American
producer
instrumentation.
Oh, instrumentation.
Because it was very open.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is very typical of American production as well. But yeah, so I was actually very interested to find that out, because originally I had thought that someone obviously in Korea had produced this song, and had that actually been true, they would have channeled the American influence very well. But knowing that like it was someone in the US that had channeled kind of more of the Korean hip hop influence is also really, really cool. Because ultimately, either way, you're channeling a culture that is across the world from you. You know?
Yep.
And also, this person, whoever,
Stella Jones,
really must listen to a lot of K hip hop and not K pop. Well, because there are tropes for each, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of things that don't overlap. That when you try to make them overlap, it doesn't work. And they did a really good job keeping this still in the realm of K-hip hop.
Right.
So, apparently Stella Jones also has experience with the gospel.
I can hear it here. That makes sense.
That's so interesting.
Yes. She's in fact she's been involved with a lot of gospel concerts across Europe. Like Germany in particular, so Germany and the Czech Republic. So
This is a slower R&B song, so that does make sense as well.
And a lot of soul and R&B artists do come from a gospel background.
Okay.
Yeah, there is some overlap in there, especially soul.
Yeah, this is more in the realm of like neo soul or something like that, where it includes a ton of different genres.
Yes.
Kind of as a fusion.
Right. Yeah, because she also has
still retains mostly soul,
jazz and funk and soul background, in addition to being a gospel singer,
which is a perfect combination for neo soul.
Right.
Exactly, for what we're seeing here in this particular song. So, she was born in Germany, but I think she's an American citizen. So either which way, what she brings here to this song, like she's obviously not just got the American influence, but also European influence. And then working with a Korean artist, like this, I really enjoy like the way it all came together. Yeah, it's a very global song.
Yeah, like it is really good. I mean, I don't understand most of it, but it's still really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think CR Kim did this song justice. I think he has the perfect voice for a song like this.
Right.
His delivery. So we talked about before too, like when you impart a little bit of vocal strain to sell the emotion of what you're singing. We do see that here in the song, and I think he got a lot of help from Stella Jones, especially with her gospel background, with kind of painting the emotions into the song. Because this song, it has a lot of soul in it. Like with his vocals. I really enjoyed the song. First time I listened to it. So as of right now, this song is at 702 views. I am personally responsible for at least 12 of those.
Yep. Same. And man, also 702. That's so like. It's so disappointing.
Criminally underrated. Like
underrated.
This is like, criminally
underrated. Time to share it. Share it around.
Yeah, everybody go share this song. It's actually insane how much influence and how like worldwide this song is, and yet still is so little views.
This is a song that I would comfortably share with an American person who enjoys like American soul, R&B, hip hop. I think they could very much appreciate the song.
Yeah.
We've had such a roller coaster of a week, guys.
Dude, we spent 2 hours trying to decide our lineup. We
literally did.
We spent. Usually, we take maybe an hour and a half. I think the fastest we've decided was like half an hour. But this literally took. This and last week took 2 hours. These last 2 weeks took 2 hours. But should we do a music video of the week?
Is it possible to pick one?
No, but we gotta.
We have committed to this. Man, wait. So do I? Man.
All right, listen up.
I'm kind of in the Jihoon thing where I just want to choose everything.
So listen up, all right? Everything that you guys heard us talk about, that is my pick of the week.
No.
All right, you can't do this. Can't do this.
No. You gotta start cutting, man. You gotta start cutting.
Nah, man.
You gotta go through the pain with all of us.
So really, man, because like all of these are just so good and so replayable.
Oh yeah.
I think my heart is with me and Keumyong.
Okay.
And Chae Jihye.
Okay.
Aura, what do you think?
Oh, you're sticking it to me now?
Yep. I still have decided.
I hate you. All right. So I've kind of got two. So technically one's from last week, but so Yezi's "Raining All Night." It is such an amazing song.
It's a solid pick. You're not wrong with picking that.
And
you're not wrong with picking any of these.
It's one song that we all agreed that even if it was released a week before, even though we didn't get a chance to speak on it, we need to speak on it because of how amazing it is. And then my other one is something that's in our quick shots, which is "Twice as Cry for Me," just because of the different style of the song.
Yeah, that actually, I was very surprised at that song.
Yeah. All right.
And we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit.
Don't do this to me. Okay, so naturally, I should be the one to pick Seori here.
Okay.
However, my heart lies with donggyoung.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That song is so good.
You know, and I was so I really liked the song, and I was so convinced that it was going to get cut. And not only did it not get cut, but it also got a pick by one of us for MV of the week.
It's crazy because I even made sure that Seori was going to be in this week.
Yeah, you protect that from getting cut.
Yeah, but even that, and even with how much we talked about Seori at the beginning, donggyoung. So the thing is, right, Seori is an artist we already know, but even when we got introduced to her, I didn't go and search for everything she's done.
Mm-hmm.
But however, with donggyoung, I do want to go to her SoundCloud. You know, I do want to see the other music she's produced, and I think that is a really good determining factor on how much I like the artist. So, definitely gonna have to give my vote to donggyoung.
All right.
Either which way, I mean, with this lineup, it's a pretty solid lineup. You're not gonna go wrong with who you pick.
Yeah.
True.
And there's so, again, we're going to have a bunch of music videos like we usually do in our description that we didn't even get to and that you should watch because there are so many amazing artists on there.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, you have a ton of artists. I mean, Baekhyun, Dept, Leon Sang, Daichi Mura. Like we've talked about all these people before. Twice. We talked about all of them before, and they're all amazing artists and they're all amazing songs. So
yes, definitely check it out. So
all right. Quick shots. All right. So Twice on December 17th US time, but December 18th KST released their first digital single. Like this is originally because it was originally performed at Mama, and the fans asked for it to be released because they really wanted the song to be released. I believe, and they released it digitally. It is like a different kind of Twice. It is more mature. It is such an intense performance. If you watch the Mama performance, it was so beautifully done. And I just love it. Unfortunately, it was cut because somebody doesn't like the funk and disco vibe.
Yeah, Gio,
which I love. I personally loved it. So I don't know what you're talking about, Nick, because I personally loved it.
But no,
it was two versus one on that one.
Yeah, but no, I thought that the vocals were really good. That's also why I thought it was my pick, because of the different styles and of Twice and a different side. So go ahead, check it out. It is such an amazing song. It needs an MV.
It does.
It absolutely does. So.
My quick shot of this week is Wildberry with the song Radio in My Head. And it is, if you love lo-fi, this is the song for you. Someone cut this because someone didn't like the fact that it was lo-fi and thought it wasn't original enough.
I wonder who that is.
Wait, was it me? I don't remember if it was me.
It was you.
It was you.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't have cut it.
I liked it.
I wouldn't have cut it either.
Look, we had a bunch of great songs, okay?
Anyway, so if you are a big fan of like lo-fi with some R&B elements, like lo-fi hip-hop or anything like that, this is the song for you. This song is amazing and is definitely going on my repeat list. So
I really enjoyed it too. Like when I first heard it, I'm full stand on this one. So
yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
On to me. So Dream Perfect Regime. So I guess they're like a music video production group. Music and video production group. DPR. Ian of Dream Perfect Regime, featuring CL. No blueberries. I mean, it's what more do you expect, right? With when CL's involved, very hip hoppy. There's a little bit of bossa nova jazz in there as well, just a little bit. So it's an experience. It's CL. I mean, what more do I need to say?
I also really love the fact that CL is branching more back into the Korean market as well.
Yeah, because DPR, Dream Perfect Regime, they're based in Seoul, but they are also more geared kind of towards like a international audience.
Yeah,
so
true. I think this is I think because for a while she was out of the Korean, I guess, eyes, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, because her
was really
previous
only focused in America.
Yeah, because exactly. Her previous 8 songs that she released was like produced out of LA, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, nevertheless, they were all American tracks.
Yeah.
But if she's collabing with DPR Ian, or DPR in general, then I think that hopefully shows that she wants to make an entrance back into the Korean market. And if that's true, I'm really happy about it.
I'm all for it.
You know, like a lot of people, or all of the members of 21 have had somewhat rough times after disbandment, and so it's nice to see that like everyone is kind of back. I mean, we saw Bomb earlier with on Queendom.
Minzy had her release.
Minzy had her label. Yeah, Minzy had her release. CL is getting back into the market. Like 21 is getting back to like kind of resuming activity, not like necessarily as a group, but as individuals, and I really like that.
Yeah.
And now keep in mind too, we only cut this from the lineup because we would have had primarily almost all hip hop in our lineup. So
yeah, it would get very bland to talk about over time, like because things we said before would start meshing with
what we've already said. Yeah. So nevertheless, these everything we just talked about on here and the stuff that we're about to listen to the description are all worth your attention. So
100%. So make sure you go listen to everything.
Right.
Thank you for watching. This has been Honestly Nation. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click that bell icon if you want to know when we upload in the future. All the links will be in the description again. Make sure you go check all of those out. Give them lots of love. We have a Twitter. Make sure you go follow that. We post when we upload there. We have a Discord. We post when we upload there, plus also MVs of what we might talk about for the next week. We have a Patreon. If you like our content and want to consider giving back, make sure you go check that out. Link will be in the description as well for all of those. And with that, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.